The biggest challenges I think people are facing right now is first and foremost financially. With the cost of living crisis, people aren't able to afford basic things like food and warmth. You hear of reports where people are having to pick between having a meal or putting the heating on during the winter. Socio-economic stress that people are going through at the moment, I think, is a massive contributor. The uncertainty of jobs, the uncertainty of housing, these things, which are major components that feed into your overall well-being and mental health, are having a detrimental effect on people. I have been diagnosed with panic disorder, and that affected me very early on in life, and I never really understood it, and I was always ashamed of what it was because I just thought this was some weird anomaly that was wrong with me. But as I sort of understood my anxiety a lot more and understood that this is actually a medical condition that can be treated and managed and be controlled, mental health, I think, has always had a stigma and will always have a stigma as well moving forward, sad to say. I think we're getting better at understanding exactly what mental health issues are, and that's a lot to do with sort of education in the media and stuff that is really helping people understand more about mental health issues. But I think we are still carrying that sort of burden from the past, and a lot more work has to go into it. I think people talking more about it and openly saying, like, hey, me too, type of situation will really help, because I think still people think that people with mental health issues are stuck in a house and they can't leave and they can't, get the job that they want, or they can't have relationships that they want, which is not the case. 1 in 4 people have mental health issues. That's a lot of people. I was a big fan of the show ever since series 1 came out, but I was never brave enough to be able to apply, and I always thought, I'm never going to get the time off work to be able to do it, so what's the point? And then COVID happened, and I think that really put things into perspective for a lot of people in terms of what's important in life, and it's to do the things that you really want to do and you enjoy. And I thought, you know what, I should at least give it a go. I should at least apply and see what the outcome of that is. As someone that has panic disorder and is very anxious in a lot of new situations, I found that throwing myself into something that I found very scary, and I think a lot of people would find it very scary, not having their phones and not being in contact with family and friends and having to travel the world, found out that I can actually do it, and I'm pretty resilient and I'm strong when I really need to be. And I think that really echoes in what I try and not teach but portray to others round about me, is that something can be scary and it can look like it's impossible, but until you try it, you won't know. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with failing. If you feel that you are struggling with your mental health, be it anxiety, depression, whatever it is, I think the biggest and most important thing that helped me was telling somebody, because it's in sharing that problem where you feel that you're not so isolated, because these things can make you feel so lonely, and I think that just compounds upon your mental health worsening. So speak to somebody, whether that's a family member, a friend, a neighbour, a colleague. Share what you're going through, because that will really help, and that's certainly what helped me. I know when someone's struggling with their mental health, the last thing that they want to think about is, what do I need to do to feel better? It can be really hard to then reel off things like breathing exercises and meditation and yoga. Like, that's the last thing you want to do. The main thing for me would be to rest. If you've got a broken leg, you're gonna rest. If you've had a heart attack, you're gonna rest. If you're struggling with your mental health, rest. Work will take care of itself. Family obligations will take care of themselves. The world does keep turning, but if you don't rest and put yourself first and make sure you're eating well and make sure you're trying to sleep, if you can't, at least lying down and having a few minutes to yourself. I think it's about resetting and resting. There is a lot of pressure. I think society as a whole puts a lot of pressure on us to be very, very productive and be the best in sort of what we do in terms of exercise and what we eat and what our house looks like and what our job looks like. But the best thing that you can do is really get rid of those expectations and sometimes do nothing if that's what you feel like doing.